So you wanna know how to bulk? Cool, I got you guys. I was fiending for some kava, but I wasn't fiending to throw $27 away. So I'm making my own variation at home. But while I do that, let's go over some bulking principles. I've had to do a lot of bulks in my life. And believe it or not, there's more to it than just stuffing yourself and hoping, you know, it all goes to the right spots. And I'm one of those people where bulking is harder than cutting. I started out skinny. I still am, to be honest. But I'll go over some key facts on what you should be doing on the bulk, as well as some strategies to make it as effective and as painless as possible. And to those of you that say that bulking is vaulted because you heard some shrimp talk about it on Instagram Reels, you're wrong, right? You can argue with me, but where's your pro card? Let me see your pro card. Oh, you don't have one? Oh, you don't? Oh, I have one. Look. And I hear you, right? It is possible to still put on muscle at a maintenance or even on a deficit, but it's also possible to work out without pre-workout or run in heels. Bulking would just make it a lot easier to put on size. You're gonna have way more energy, you're gonna have more motivation to go to the gym, your lifts are gonna be way better, you're gonna get a lot more out of your lifts. Plus, who doesn't like to eat a little more? Also, I'm cooking steaks on a stovetop. Anyone that's tried this before knows that doesn't really work. I have a method, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it right now. Olive oil spray, not canola spray. If you have canola spray, throw that shit away. We're gonna give these a sear on each side, but I'm adding my seasoning on top here. All right, after tossing that around a little bit, let's go over what you should be eating on a bulk. You don't really increase your fat intake. You increase your carb intake. It's a bulk, you're gonna be eating more. Your fat should probably increase like maybe 25%. But really the main difference is gonna be your carbs. Like you would on a cut, you wanna have a majority of your carbs around when you work out before to spike your blood sugar, you know, get the energy going. And then after your workouts to replenish your glycogen stores. I'm also gonna throw some kimchi on there and some beets. If you're a vegetarian, you don't get any iron in except when you get beets. Beets are great, tap into them. With the kimchi, I like to get something fermented in every day, help with the gut health. Your protein should obviously increase. And what's important is that you're still kind of eating the same food you would on a cut. What I tell my clients is eat cut foods in bulk portions. All right, after we seared each side, we're gonna chop it up into thinly sliced pieces and then put it back. But your shrimp and tuna and chicken are still gonna be your friend. You shouldn't really excuse yourself to eat fried chicken now because you're on a bulk. Get the grilled chicken, just order more. Yeah, the fried chicken is more calories, but the goal isn't more calories. The goal isn't to swell your lymph nodes and your visceral fat. The goal is to put on muscle. The calories you eat on a bulk should still have a purpose. You shouldn't just eat calories because, oh, you're on a bulk, let's eat more calories. I just started my bulk like 2 weeks ago, by the way. I'm already up like 12 pounds in like a week and a half. Most of it's just water weight, so I'm not scared. Plus, it's all going in the right spots. The worst part about the bulk isn't losing your abs. I've never bulked that far, to be honest, but I've seen them get a little foggier, which hurts to see. But I'm telling you, the worst part is the face fat. So stay up on your electrolytes and your hydration. You don't want to get bloated, right? Again, this will help when you're eating cut foods, just in bulk amounts. Add another round of seasoning on here now that it's sliced up. Also to get some rice going. Now it'd be more responsible for me to make these in bulk instead of doing the pouches. And honestly, I don't really have an excuse. I probably should. I don't really make rice. I don't really know how to make rice. How do you make rice? I'm a pasta guy. I grew up a pasta guy, if you couldn't tell. Fucking Italian. So I don't know how to do this rice shit. Whatever. A strategy I've been using on the bulk to make sure I'm tracking the way I should is I keep a chart by my bed along with a body weight scale. And what I do is I make sure I weighed more than I did any of those previous 3 nights. Now the interval could change depending on how aggressive on a bulk you are. Like, let's say you need to put on weight like now for a meet. What you would do is you would track your weight and then make sure you weigh more the very next night. And you wouldn't go to sleep until you weighed more. And I had to do that when I was trying to make weight for a powerlifting meet back in my powerlifting days in high school. Safe to say I was up chugging milk and olive oil at 3 a.m. and like 2 a.m. Still, shit sucked. But, I mean, how could that not work? Now, if you're not trying to throw up in the morning, what you can do is expand that interval, right? 3 days is a safe zone. If you want to take it a little more slow, make it a week. But if you have no way to track where you're going, how are you going to get towards your goal? But even then, the goal of the bulk isn't to see an increase on the number you see when you step on the scale. It's to grow muscle, which is always why I recommend getting a gym journal. Let me grab mine. I always recommend getting a gym journal. I have like some stickers on there. Look, you guys can check this out. I have like 4 editions. After I make it, I'll have these on eBay for like $10,000. So, but with the gym journal, what you can do is track every exercise so you can refer to it the next time you do said exercise, and then always improve, whether that's in the amount of reps you're able to do or the amount of weight you're doing with it, the amount of sets. You could add a drop set in there, but you're always improving from the last time you did a certain exercise. If you're always improving the input, guess what's gonna happen to the output? And another thing what bulking isn't is an excuse to make yourself lazy, to sit on the couch. The main thing that's gonna hold you back from a successful bulk is how fast you're able to digest. If you sit on your ass all day, you're not gonna be able to digest the food. You're just gonna sit there fat and bloated. So you definitely still wanna be moving around. I'm not saying you need to be doing as much cardio as you would on the cut, but get your steps in and be more regular with the gym. If you go 5 days a week on maintenance, you should probably go in 6 on the bulk. What I've been doing is I've been resorting to 2-a-days. I'm not prescribing this for everybody. This isn't for everyone. But what I do is I do a 3-day split. I go to the gym twice a day, and then once a day, then I have a 24-hour rest period. So I'm still going to the gym 3 times in 3 days, but I still have a 24-hour period where I can recover from those workouts. All right, we're gonna add the kimchi and the beets on here. Another very important pillar in bulking is your recovery. It always matters, but when you bulk especially. Supplement-wise, you should be taking magnesium. You should be doing that anyway, but on the bulk, you should definitely be taking magnesium. I like to take it before bed. It'll help with your sleep. I do wake up a little more groggy, but that just means I slept better. But other than that, same kind of stuff supplement-wise. Creatine for sure. If you're not on creatine, like, what are you doing? It's like the most studied thing ever. I don't know about ever. Okay, I don't know about that, but it's well researched. It works. Even if you don't think it works, it does. But if you can nail your recovery and nail your digestion, you're gonna nail your bulk. I didn't really go too in depth with the digestion, but you should definitely be moving more. That'll help with it. Caffeine also helps speed up digestion. Don't overdo it, right? Also making sure you're getting a good amount of fiber. What's good for that will actually be tortillas or like carb counter. There's like 100 brands of this, but these can be very rich in fiber and it's a great source. Also vegetables. But vegetables are gross. Grow the fuck up, seriously. And then finally, what's important with digestion is your gut health. So like I said before, try to get one kind of fermented food in a day. I've never had kefir or skyr, whatever. I've never had it, but I heard it's good. The kombucha is interesting, but it will work. This is what we have so far. And on top of this, we're gonna add hummus and a low-calorie barbecue sauce. But Matt, why the low-calorie barbecue sauce? Aren't we on a bulk? Calories you should be getting should still have a purpose, even on a bulk. Like, yeah, I could spend 120 calories using normal barbecue sauce, or I could spend like 20, get those other calories in some form of protein. And I could save more room in my stomach for the more important stuff. This applies to that theory I said before. Cut foods in bulk amounts. But anyway, I think I've yapped enough. I feel like I spilled a good amount of sauce for you guys. If there's any questions you guys have, let me know in the comments. I probably didn't touch on everything I didn't really have. Like a teleprompter. I was kind of just going off the dome, freestyling, right? But the bulk. What I see so many people do that, I've done is like I'll stay on the bulk for like a week. Then I look at myself in the mirror like, fuck, I'm fat as shit. And I'll go on like a 3-day cut. Like I can't do it anymore, I'm cutting, right? I go on like a 3-day cut and does nothing. Then I'm like, shit, I'm small as fuck. I've lost progress on my lifts. I need to bulk again. And then I'm in this like purgatory state where I go back and forth and I'm not actually making progress. There's gonna be a point on the bulk where you're gonna think you're fat. There's gonna be a point on the cut, you're gonna think you're a skinny bitch. Just stick with it, right? You'll be fine, you'll live. It'll all pay off in July when you're on the beach, shredded, you got your size on because you committed on the bulk right now in March. But, TLDR, cut foods in bulk amounts. Your main concern should be on your digestion and your recovery. And really a lot of your life shouldn't be changing. You're just eating more food, training a little more, and monitoring your progress on the way. Anyway, I'm gonna go indulge in this. Not gonna lie, I think I nailed it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. Peace out.